With the release of Madden 21, I wanted to try a little bit of a different experiment. What if we took every single top rookie that we saw drafted in 2020 and put them on the same team? How fast could they win a Super Bowl? Well, let's find out. Now, a big shout out to EA Sports for hooking me up with an early code for this game, because without that, I would not be able to bring you guys some fire content. Now, let's go ahead and check out this roster. So as you can see, Isaiah Simmons is the best player on the team so far. At your quarterback position, we kept Joe Burrow. He's the highest rated quarterback, so we kept him there. I didn't bring some of the quarterbacks in because I wanted them to have an opportunity to shine and develop on their own. So Burrow is our starter, Jordan Love, and then Jalen Hurts are the backups. At halfback, we got J.K. Dobbins, who's the highest rated running back, DeAndre Swift, Edwards-Helaire, and Cam Akers. At fullback, I found a fullback. You might not believe there's a fullback rookie, but we got Bronson Rechsteiner. The man's got 88 speed, okay? I'm here for it. Wide receiver, this team is pretty much stacked. I don't know who's going to be the alpha on this team, but we got Henry Ruggs III. We got Jerry Jeudy, CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson, Jalen Reagor, and then Brandon Ayuk. I don't know how to say his name. Regardless, there's a whole lot of speed and a whole lot of talent at wide receiver for this team. At tight end, we have Cole Kmet, or Met. I have no idea how to say his name. You're probably going to roast me in the comments, but it is what it is. You got Devin Ossie. Listen, I wasn't an English major. And then you got Harrison Bryant. Thank you for having a name I can pronounce. I appreciate you. Left tackle is going to be Jedrick Wills Jr. with Mekhi Becton. You got left guard John Simpson and Ben Bredesen. I don't know. Center, we got Lloyd Cushenberry III. Sounds professional. Right guard, we got Cesar Ruiz, Thayer Phillips. I'm butchering this. At right tackle, Andrew Thomas, Tristan Wirfs. Left end, we got AJ Epinesa. I'm sorry. And then behind him, we have Khalid Kareem at left end. Right end, we got... Calebon Chason? It gets worse. Yetter Gross Matos. Man, I'm really trying, okay? And then Ross Blacklock. Thank you. Finally. Defensive tackle, we got Derek Brown, Javon Kinlaw, Makai Fotu. Our left side linebacker, we got Mr. Jabari. And then we got behind him, Chauncey Rivers, who I think was on Last Chance U. So shout out to them. Middle linebacker, we got Logan Wilson, Patrick Queen behind him. And then we got Jordan Brooks behind him. Right outside linebacker, we got Kenneth Murray Jr. and Josh Uche. Don't know how to say it. Cornerback, though, a lot of good talent here. CJ Henderson, Jeff Okuda, Dalen Johnson, Jeff Gladney, Noah. We're just going to not even try to pronounce that. Damon Arnett Jr., and that's it for corner. So again, lots of talent here. The worst corner is a 70 overall, and there's a lot of talent with CJ and Jeff being at the top. I like this a lot. Free safety, we have Xavier McKinney with Grant Delpit behind him. At strong safety, Isaiah Simmons and Kyle Duggar. These two dudes are going to be balling over the field, I can imagine, so I can't wait to see that. Found a rookie kicker in Justin Rohrwasser, possibly. And then at punter, we have Sterling Richter. This is our rookie team. What do you think they're going to do? So the goal here is to see how many seasons it takes for this team to win a Super Bowl. I'm imagining with the core of this team, we're probably looking at like 5, 6, 7 seasons where I would imagine it being. And if you guys are hyped for this and want to see more videos like this one, don't forget to subscribe, leave a thumbs up on the video, leave me a comment down below telling me another crazy idea we can try in a video. But without any further ado, see how the rookies do in year 1. So the Super Bowl is something I wouldn't have predicted for anybody. San Fran versus the Patriots. Who would have thought it? Honestly, not me. If we check out the yearly awards, your MVP goes to Russell Wilson. Joe Burrow, though, you were 6-9-1, spoiler alert. Joe Burrow got 4th in the MVP voting as a rookie with an all-rookie team. Not bad. Burrow also finishes 4th place in the Offensive Player of the Year award. Cam Newton, again, right above him with Ryan Tannehill and Pat Mahomes up top. Defensive Player of the Year award, there is no one from our team, but that's fine. Rookie of the Year on offense goes to, again, as you can imagine, Joe Burrow. And then... yeah, there's a lot of Bengals there. Imagine that. Defensive Rookie of the Year goes to Logan Wilson. And then we have... we had pretty much every top defensive player, so I'm not surprised. But the kids were killing it. That's quarterback goes to Joe Burrow. That's running back. We are not making an entrance on that category. That's receiver. We got CeeDee Lamb there, so apparently he was our top receiver. That's offensive lineman. Got nobody. Best D lineman. Not looking like it. Best linebacker. As you can tell, it's a little bit of a trend here. Okay, so we get it. We aren't on the best kicker list. It is what it is. But Joe Burrow shows some promise. Let's see about the rest of the team. So to check out our entire team, Burrow throws for 4,100 yards, 36 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions. That's not a bad year at all. From a rushing perspective, J.K. Dobbins runs for 766 yards. DeAndre Swift gets a lot of carries too at 511 total yards. But touchdown perspective-wise, not great. Dobbins only had 4. Swift had none. Burrow had 2. Cam Akers had 3. We see Edwards-Helaire and then Bronson Reckner each chime in with 1. It's not very good. On the receiving side, Jerry Jeudy ends up balling out 91 for 934 yards, but he only has 4 touchdowns. Cole Kmet has 872 yards and 8 touchdowns. Henry Ruggs goes for 5 touchdowns and 850. CeeDee Lamb, 829 and 13 touchdowns. So he had the most touchdowns by far, which is really cool to see, but a lot of the other guys may have had more yards. They just couldn't get in the end zone quite as often as him. You also see DeAndre Swift, J.K. Dobbins, some of these guys chimed in as well, but I wish we could have got Justin Jefferson in the game more, but I mean, the man called 2 passes, 1 was a touchdown. Put him in the game more, coach. On defense, Logan Wilson did have a really good year. 100 tackles in the season with 7 for a loss, 4 sacks and 2 interceptions. Jeff Okudah ended up having only 1 interception, but he had 94 tackles. If we see who our leaders are in each respective category, 8 sacks by Derek Brown, 7 by Josh Uche. Caleb Von Chasen with 4.5, Logan Wilson with 4. Interception leaders, we had 3 guys with 2, Logan Wilson, Patrick Queen, Jalen Johnson, and then a couple of guys chimed in with 1. Solid, not a great year 1 at 6-9-1, but let's see what we do in year 2. Now, as we head into season 2, Joe Burrow has come out as our top player. He's an 84 overall. Now he's doing fairly well. Speed's at 83. We see Derek Brown, Isaiah Simmons both tied at 83. Henry Ruggs and Jerry Jeudy are at 81. If you look at the rest of the roster, we lost, it looks like, our guy Jalen Hurts. Again, I have it on auto for everything player management side, so they'll be deciding what ends up happening. See, at halfback, J.K. Dobbins is down with 78, Swift to 76. These guys are doing pretty well. Fullback, still to 69. Receiver, again, highest is an 81 for 2 of these guys. Brandon Ayuk is down to 74. Jefferson and Rieger are at 76. Tight end, not a lot of movement here, ultimately, but it is what it is. We end up getting another rookie, Elton Taylor, who comes in at a 73 overall. At left tackle, we got a 77 and a 76. Left guard, still struggling. Center, not great. Right guard, it is what it is. So the offensive line is not great. Left end and right end, not super great either, but Gross Matos ended up being the #1 guy now, going ahead of Chasen, which kind of surprises me, who's actually injured, it looks like. Okay, so Chasen's actually injured. That explains that. Defensive tackle, we're up to an 83. Kinlow's at a 78. Outside linebacker, we have a new rookie in. Lionel Carnett's going to actually go over Jabari. Middle linebacker, we're going to have Patrick Queen and Logan Wilson, both of the same overall rating now. Right outside linebacker is Kenneth Murray, who's just etching out a little bit for Josh Uche. Corner, again, Jeff Henderson, Okudah are both now an 80 overall. Free safety, Xavier McKinney's a 77 with Delpit just behind him. The strong safety, Isaiah Simmons, again, as you guys saw, an 83, with kicker being a 70 and punter being a 70. Solid upgrades. Let's see if they do any better than last year. So Super Bowl 55 goes to the Colts and the Seahawks. If we go ahead and look at the awards, see if we got anybody for MVP. Okay, Joe Burrow dropped down to 6th place. We were 8-7-1, not worse, but we did get a little bit better, but I still want to see a little bit more improvement for our team. We checked the stats. Joe Burrow threw for 4,000 yards, 29 touchdowns, so less than last year. I think the same interceptions at 12. On the ground, DeAndre Swift didn't break 1,000 yards again, but it looks like running back by committee is sort of how things have been going. J.K. Dobbins goes for 511. DeAndre Swift goes for 810. Burrow chimes in for 187. And we see not a lot of touchdowns on the ground. I mean, Edwards-Helaire seemed to be the power back force, but I wish we'd seen a better running game. In the air, CeeDee Lamb gets his first 1,000-yard receiving year, 84 grabs, 1,098 yards, and 8 touchdowns, so a little bit less in the touchdown perspective than last year. Jerry Jeudy has a great year. Cole Kmet comes in. Henry Ruggs, solid year, not exactly great. No one else really chimes in a lot. This new tight end comes in with 3 touchdowns, 2 by our fullback, and then 1 by Edwards-Helaire. But again, receiving core seems okay. CeeDee Lamb's the top of the crop, though. On defense, Logan Wilson has a little less tackles than last year at 91. He goes 10 tackles for a loss this year instead. C.J. Henderson and Jeff Okudah put up tons of production as well. Our sack leader ends up being Josh Uche with 6.5. Derek Brown and Javon Kinlaw both come in with 5. Interception-wise, we have 4 guys this year with 2. Isaiah Simmons, who has 78 tackles on the year. We see C.J. Henderson, Jalen Johnson, and Jeff Okudah again, all with 2 grabs. And to see how close our team was to the playoffs, the Cowboys ended up with the best record in the NFL. But for the Bengals, they actually got into the playoffs. They just didn't go very far. So at least we made it this year. Next year, though, I want to make a run. Looking at the roster for year 3, Joe Burrow is down to 88 overall, still being our top player. But CeeDee Lamb, Derek Brown, and Isaiah Simmons are coming for that #1 spot, if you ask me. Those guys are all doing extremely well. Henry Ruggs is an 85 along with Jerry Jeudy. Jeff Okudah going a little bit slower than I would have thought for him, but an 83 overall for him is C.J. Henderson. Xavier McKinney, Mekhi Becton, our offensive line starting to get a little bit better, especially with him and Jedrick Wills Jr. kind of anchoring that spot for us. Logan Wilson coming along pretty strong. I think there's a lot of progress, but let's see if they can, do something big in the playoffs this year. So if you're wondering how the Bengals did in this season, things got worse. They did not actually make the playoffs. They were not very good. 6-10, worse than last year by 2 games. They're trending in the wrong direction. Joe Burrow took a little bit of a step back again, but he did actually become a little bit more, accurate. Only 7 interceptions at 27 touchdowns, but you would expect him to be throwing more there. 300 yards. Joe, we need to see a little bit more. Dobbins again, 852 yards. It's a bounce back year after DeAndre Swift sort of led them last season. Again, the rushing game is just not getting enough production, in my opinion. The receiving end, CD Lamb is just shy of 1,000 yards. He has 6 touchdowns, again, lower than last year. Again, he's trending the wrong way. Jerry Jeudy has 3 and 800 yards. 6 touchdowns for Henry Ruggs with 770. Komet again, another solid year at tight end. And this young guy comes in pretty strong too. If we go to defense, we see Logan Wilson again be our dominant guy. 104 tackles. He has 4 sacks on the year. Jeff Okudah comes in second place. CJ Henderson second place. I don't like our corners being that high for tackles. I hope we'd have other people doing that, but it is what it is. Calvin Chasen, 6.5 sacks. Derek Brown with 5, along with Josh Uche. 4 from Logan Wilson again. From an interception standpoint, someone finally broke past 2, and we got 3 from Patrick Queen, 2 from Simmons, 1 from this guy Tyler Bands, other from Jalen Johnson. Defense, offense, everybody do better. Year 4 coming up now. Now remember in the beginning I predicted around season 5, 6, or 7 is when I kind of thought we'd win a title, so things are starting to get a little bit more pressure for this team. Not making the playoffs in year 3 is not great, so coming into year 4, you got to go out big. Joe Burrow is now a 90 overall. CD Lamb is only 1 point behind him. Henry Ruggs, Jerry Jeudy. I mean, what else can you want? You got 3 top-of-the-line receivers who are all young, still under contract. Make something happen, Joe Burrow. Isaiah Simmons still killing it. Derek Brown, Jeff Okudah, CJ Henderson. I mean, there is so much talent on this team. There's no excuse not to get it done. If you had to say there's a weak point overall, it's most likely the offensive line. Left tackle, again, you got 2 really good ones there. Left guard, it's getting a little bit better with John Simpson. Center is getting pretty passable. Right guard is actually in a really good spot with Cesar Ruiz. Right tackle, in a good spot. The offensive line, probably no longer a joke now that I'm looking at it. So, you know what, defense? Step your game up. Offense, so for 4,000 or 5,000 passing yards, let's make a title run happen. All right, finally some good news. 11-5 is what this team ended up doing. Let's check the stats really quick, and then let's see how this playoff run looks. Joe Burrow comes back with arguably his best season so far. Over 4,000 passing yards, 35 touchdowns, and single-digit interceptions. That's what I'm trying to see. The ground, running back by committee, still kills it. J.K. Dobbins at 800 yards and 5 touchdowns. DeAndre Swift led us with 7 touchdowns on 500 yards. And we get DeMarcus Hargrave, a young guy we brought in apparently, 4 touchdowns and 250 yards, with Burrow chiming in for 3 touchdowns too. CD Lamb comes back with a 1,000-yard season and 7 touchdowns. Look, we'll take that right now. Komet, 865 and 5 touchdowns. Jerry Jeudy, 9 touchdowns, leading this team and only 846 yards. Henry Ruggs coming in as that solid number 3, number 4 guy for the team overall with 5 touchdowns. Andre Swift got involved. Elton Taylor again, the other tight end, 6 touchdowns. I mean, our lead tight end only had 5. On a significantly more amount of targets, that dude might be a red zone threat. On defense for the first time, Jeff Okudah actually leads us in total tackles, which again feels kind of weird to me, but it is what it is. 99 for him, a career high. Logan Wilson drops down to 88, with 9 of those being for a loss. Isaiah Simmons has 77 on the year too. From a sack perspective, Calvin Chasen comes out big. A career high for him, 12.5 sacks. Josh Uche comes in with 8. Derek Brown, 6.5. I mean, we're starting to see these guys sort of pull away a little bit and showcase that they have some real actual talent. From an interception standpoint, 4 for Jeff Okudah, a career high for him. Isaiah Simmons and CJ Henderson both come in with 2. Then we see 1 from Lionel Carney, Jalen Johnson, and Xavier McKinney. Defense finally answered. I think that's why we're 11-5. Let's see how they do, though, in the postseason. So our first matchup is going to be against the Houston Texans. Let's go ahead and see how they ultimately do. We go ahead and sim that one, and they win it. So they're going to be here against the Baltimore Ravens. Now we got our players we can actually upgrade here. CD Lamb, you can see what he can actually be. We'll actually go ahead and upgrade him. So deep threat is his top thing. So what our sort of scheme fit is going to be. He's now a 94 overall with a morale boost. He gets +1 to awareness, medium route and release, +3 to catch in traffic, and +2 to spectacular catch. That's all great by me. If you look at his abilities very quickly, he's got evasive, which means ball carriers of this ability have steerable, juke, and spin animations. And then reach for it. This ability, they will frequently attempt to gain extra yards while being tackled. Again, happy to see CD Lamb doing so good. He is a top player in the NFL. But now, they beat the Baltimore Ravens, and I'm assuming Lamar Jackson. Go ahead and sim that one. If they can make that title run. and they lost it 21-13. You see who the injury report is on? It was on J.K. Dobbins, who dislocated his ankle, so not great news from that front, but still, the deepest playoff run we've had by far. Give it a shot for year number 5 coming up. As we head into year number 5, CeeDee Lamb took the utmost leap of everyone. He's now a 93 overall, beating out Joe Burrow and Henry Ruggs, who are both 92 overall now. Jerry Jeudy's a 91, so again, Burrow's got 3 guys 91 or overall higher is the receiving core. Kind of crazy. Derek Brown and Isaiah Simmons are now both 90 overall. CJ Henderson and Okudah are staying neck and neck at 88 overall. Guy Benton is now an 87. I mean, look, the talent is finally here. Year 4 was a great one. Year 5, I got a feeling, might be an incredible one. So the good news is the Bengals did make the playoffs. At 10-6, they'll be facing the 7-9 Kansas City Chiefs in the wild card. Should be an easy dub for them, but you never know. Joe Burrow beat out what he had last year. Those are 40 touchdowns and 12 interceptions with 4,100 yards passing. Look, Joe Burrow will take that. That's incredible. Also, he no longer has Jordan Love behind him. James Edgar is the rookie that comes in behind him from there. On the ground, J.K. Dobbins, a great year. Not quite 1,000 yards, but 926 yards on 7 touchdowns with only 1 fumble. We'll take it. Marcus Hargrave comes in as a number 2 guy officially now with 502 yards. Joe Burrow chimes in with 237 of his own with 3. This time it is Jerry Jeudy, though, that gets 1,000 yards receiving, and he has 12 touchdowns. One of his best seasons by far. CeeDee Lamb chimes in with 872 and 6. Met 848 and 5. Henry Ruggs 695 and 8 touchdowns. Ruggs has done a good job of at least getting touchdowns each and every single year. D5 come in from Eldon Taylor. Harrison Bryant gets 2, and then we get a couple of guys out of the bottom with 1. Look at Patrick Queen, though. Gets an opportunity to shine and kills it. 117 tackles on the year with 3 sacks, 11 for a loss, and 1 touchdown. Heck of a year by him. Isaiah Simmons is 92. Okudah goes down to 85. Lionel Carney is 74. Jalen Johnson is 69. It's good to see those dudes finally step up a little bit. We only have 6.5 sacks from our leader, Derek Brown, this year. On an interception perspective, we have 1 by a lot of dudes. Carney, Queen, Simmons, Okudah, Logan Wilson, who only had 58 tackles this year, and CJ Henderson, who had 1 as well. We'll take it, though. So it's time to see what this team can actually do in the postseason. Again, we're just going to go ahead and sim it and see how it plays out. I would imagine they would beat the Chiefs. They got blown out by the Chiefs. I imagine incorrectly. Year 5 was a dud. Year 6, here we come. All right, year 6. We're going to check out the roster, but I need some production from this team. CeeDee Lamb, 95 overall. Ruggs and Jeudy both a 94. Joe Burrow's now a 93. He's tapering off a little bit. Isaiah Simmons at a 92. Derek Brown. I mean, look at the talent on this team. The top of the top is incredible. This team, through and through, should be fine. Look at the halfback spot. J.K. Dobbins has dealt with some injuries here and there, so he's only an 83. So maybe the running game hasn't quite kept up with the passing game, but still, there is plenty of talent there with J.K. Dobbins to get the job done. So the Bengals absolutely have their best year at 14-2. It is about time. I'm expecting Joe Burrow to put up big numbers. Let's check him out. Joe Burrow bowls out with 4,300 yards. I believe his most passing yards of his career so far. Has 37 touchdowns. Still pretty happy with that, and 11 interceptions. On the ground, J.K. Dobbins finally puts in some work. Maybe he just finally got healthy. Maybe something clicked for him, but 1,088 rushing yards for him. Finally clips in that mark, and 14 rushing touchdowns, both the career high. Gotta love it. And look at this. Marcus Hargrave had 9 touchdowns as his backup with 663 yards. You got a duo right there. Jerry Jeudy comes back with back-to-back seasons of over 1,000 yards and 15 receiving touchdowns. Good Lord, he killed it. CeeDee Lamb with almost 803 touchdowns, kind of a career low for him on that perspective. Komet, 730 with 7 touchdowns. Henry Ruggs only 2 touchdowns. I mean, Jerry Jeudy definitely stole the show from a touchdown perspective, but a couple of guys chimed in a little bit here and there. On defense, for the first time in his career here, Kenneth Murray goes for 92 tackles, leading the team with 13 being for a loss. Patrick Queen had a great year last year with a solid year this year. From a sack perspective, we're going to have 10 by Yetur Gross-Matos. We have Javon Kinlaw with 7, Kenneth Murray with 5, as well as Randall Searcy, and Derek Brown with 4.5. On the interception side, we have 3 by Isaiah Simmons, 2 from Patrick Queen, and we have 1 by Kenneth Murray, CJ Henderson, and Jeff Okudah. So the Bengals have an opportunity to try to get revenge on the team that took them out in the wildcard round last season. It was unfortunate, but I like to see them pull off something great. And they do it. They're going to beat them 24-14, narrowly getting that dub. They face the Patriots, who are 8-7-1. We got an upgrade player. Go ahead and check that out first. Deion Cherry, we don't really care about, but CJ Henderson, definitely want to look into what he's doing so far. A 91 overall. Man-to-man, we're going to improve that. Could improve his zone, but we'll get him to a 92 for this. So now he's going to have +4 awareness, +1 catching, play rec, and tackle. You check out his abilities very quickly. He's got Unfakeable. This ability, they're rarely faked out by ball carrier moves. It cannot be faked out when user controlled. In short route KO, this ability, they're able to force more catch tackle knockouts in man-to-man versus short routes less than 10 yards from line of scrimmage. I like it. So the 14-2 Bengals take on the 8-7-1 Patriots. We're gonna go ahead and advance that one and see what we ultimately get out of it. They are going to win that one 26-7. That is great news with a couple of players to possibly upgrade. Gotta love that. Jerry Jeudy's one of those guys. We can check him out. I don't think we've looked at him yet. Deep threat, 95 overall. We're going to increase that. He's a 98 overall with his morale boost now, which is crazy. +1 to awareness, catching traffic, deep route and speed, and +2 to medium route. And again, if we look at his abilities here, we've got short and elite. This ability, they can catch more consistently while catching passes less than 10 yards from the line of scrimmage inside the numbers. And short out elite, catch more consistently while catching passes less than 10 yards from the line of scrimmage outside the numbers. So whether he's running ins or outs, dude's going to be tough to guard. So the Bengals have an opportunity in year 6, the all-rookie team, take on the 12-4 Washington football team players. This is going to be interesting. Can they win it? This is it. We can check yearly wars. We'll look at that later, but I want to see if they can get this W right here, right now. You have one opportunity and they win by 3. The all-rookie Bengals have done it. Oh my God. Let's see who we got to upgrade really quickly. We don't really care about any of these guys. Oh my God, they did it. So if we check the box score here again, a 24-21 victory. Washington ended up scoring 14 in the fourth quarter after not scoring in the second or third quarter to narrowly come back there. Look at the player stats. Joe Burrow threw for 304 yards, 2 touchdowns. Baker Mayfield now plays for Washington, had 2 touchdowns and 1 interception. On the ground, Darius Geis had 15-78. J.K. Dobbins 9 for 26. So the rushing game was not good. Joe Burrow did have a rushing touchdown though. I would imagine he was a Super Bowl MVP. On the receiving side, Jerry Jeudy 6 for 83. McLaurin had some. Zay Jones had some with a touchdown. I mean, not a lot to really love here from our team in terms of production in the air, but J.K. Dobbins did have a receiving touchdown. And on defense, Patrick Queen had 8 tackles, leading pretty much everybody. Isaiah Simmons had 7. Overall, a great effort by the team. Something to note, though, we saw injuries from Jeff Okudah, Randall Searcy, and Ryan Traber. All these guys got injured for a long period of time, so that definitely impacted us. Maybe we would have won by more had they not gotten injured. So we're going to do one final season and see if this team of all rookies can ultimately try to repeat from what they did last year winning a Super Bowl. CeeDee Lamb is now a 98 overall. Henry Ruggs and Jerry Jeudy are 96 overalls. Joe Burrow's a 94, so he's still climbing. It's a little bit slower than his receivers at the moment. Eric Brown, Isaiah Simmons. I mean, look at all these guys that are above 90 overall now. It's insane. I mean, Kenneth Murray's pretty much there, but this is a stacked team. And then from the running back perspective, Dobbins is now 85 overalls, I believe 2 higher than what he was last season. Give him a chance. We'll send the year. See if they can repeat as Super Bowl champions. So good news, the Bengals did go back to the playoffs. They are 12-4. They're facing the Miami Dolphins at a much lesser record. But last time we overlooked an opponent, you guys saw what happened. It didn't really work out too well for us. Now, we've got Larry Cameron and Randall Searcy. Both guys we can go ahead and upgrade. We'll get them going to a good spot. It is time to see if this team can go back to the Super Bowl. So, 8-7-1 Dolphins. Let's see what we can essentially do against them. We won narrowly by 6 points. And we're going to be facing a team that apparently has relocated. It looks like the Bulls is end up being their name. I'll go to upgrade again. Gross Matos. Give him, again, a full upgrade. I want to see who's actually on this team or what team relocated. We can figure that out. So if you look here, you can no longer see that the Bills are a member of the team. So rather than go too crazy with their name, they changed the I to a U and, well, now they're the Bulls. Clever. Clever. So here we go, an opportunity to go against the Bulls to see if we can actually beat them. We're gonna go ahead and advance that one to see if we can advance to the AFC Conference Championship. And they're gonna beat them 28-14, which is great news. Check our upgraded players again really quickly. Jerry Jeudy is the only guy that really matters out of this group. We're gonna upgrade his deep threat again. He's now a 99 overall with morale, so technically a 98 overall. He gets +1 to awareness, catching traffic, catching medium route, spectacular catch, spin move, and then +2 to release. This dude is killing it right now. He is one of the best, if not the best receiver in the entire league. But it's time to see if this team can actually do what they want to do, which is go back to the Super Bowl. So here we go. Conference championship against Kansas City. They're 13-3, slightly better. Can we actually beat them and repeat as Super Bowl champions? The answer to that question is going to be no, they cannot. 31-14, it was a heck of a run. They were not destined for greatness twice in a row. So overall, this team of all rookies did incredibly well. It took them 6 seasons to win a Super Bowl. And I think that's honestly pretty quick considering how young they are. To get all those guys together to win one common goal to win the Super Bowl is pretty impressive. If you guys enjoyed this video and you want to see any more of my content, make sure you subscribe and leave a thumbs up on this video. It helps out more than you possibly know. I appreciate all the support you guys have been giving me. And leave me a comment down below if you have a crazy idea for the challenge, experiment, whatever you want to call it, that we could do in this channel. Congrats again to all the rookies. Let me know your favorite rookie this year in Madden right down in the comments. And until the next video, see you guys soon.